So these are the videos are brought here for the perspective of EMRS PGT English examination. So we will try to complete the whole syllabus, beginning with William Shakespeare, which is the most important and first chapter that we have in our syllabus. So let's start without wasting much time. So as we know that William Shakespeare is a very vast topic and lot of works are there to be completed. So we will try to complete it within next 3 days and some series of videos. So the life tenure of William Shakespeare is 1564 to 1660, right? And let's see that. So William Shakespeare born on 26 April 1564. So it is very important to remember the date of birth of William Shakespeare. Why am I saying so? Because recently that I appeared English PGT interview of KBS, then I was asked the same question first. Then what is the date of birth of William Shakespeare? So that question can be asked at any time. So we should remember always that what is the date of birth of William Shakespeare. Now, apart from that, William Shakespeare is called Bart of Avon, as we all know that, I think, as he is also called the national poet of England. So William Shakespeare died on 23rd April 1616, and to honor his death on 23rd April, UNESCO established 23rd April as the International Day of the Book. So and this is very important point that we should remember is on the death of William Shakespeare, the International Day of Book is celebrated, which has been declared by UNESCO. Scalaba, there are 39 approximately plays and 154 sonnets, including two long narrative poems, and there are some few other verses. Verses means poems written by William Shakespeare. So generally, in between 1585 to 1592, he began a successful career in London as an actor, writer, and part owner of a playing company. The name of the playing company is Lord's Chamberlain. Beginning, it was the name. Later on, it has changed. The name, the name has changed into the King's Men. Okay. So the most important things regarding William Shakespeare that we have to remember about that there are some other prominent figures of English literature that who has made comments and wrote and some criticism on Shakespeare. Now, when I say criticism, it does not mean that everybody has said about the negative things of Shakespeare. Criticism means praising and criticizing, both is there. Now, first we will see that Ben Jonson, what did he say about Shakespeare? So generally, he said a very important line about Shakespeare, that is, he was not an age but for all time. So please remember it. That question can be asked that who has said it to on William Shakespeare. Then we have John Milton, who has written a sonnet on the name of the sonnet on Shakespeare. Please do remember it. It is asked many times, the same question asked in many examinations, that who has written a sonnet on Shakespeare. The name of the sonnet is on Shakespeare. That is appeared in 1630. So apart from that, John Dryden, in 1668, John Dryden's most critical work, that is essay of dramatic poesy, that we all know that, where he begins. To begin then with Shakespeare, he was the man who of all modern and perhaps ancient poets had the largest and most comprehensive soul. Then Alexander Pope, who wrote about Shakespeare, preface to Pope's edition of Shakespeare. Then Samuel Johnson, 1765, he wrote about Shakespeare, the plays of William Shakespeare. Then Charles Lamb, we know that a very prominent figure of English literature, that is Charles Lamb. In 1811, he wrote on his work where he criticized about Shakespeare on the tragedies of Shakespeare. Then Thomas De Quincey, he has written a work on Shakespeare, that is on the knocking at the gate in Macbeth. Then very important T.S. Eliot, and who criticized Shakespeare's works in his criticism work, that is Hamlet and his problems. And remember all of you, and in the same essay, that Hamlet and his problems, he said that Hamlet is an artistic failure, right? Next, we will see the most prominent. the years of Shakespeare's life, that is 1591 to 1611. And in this tenure, that the most important works of Shakespeare has been published. Now, he wrote 39 plays, including two narrative poems. Now, let's see the narrative poems. There are two narrative poems that we already discussed. So, one is Venus and Adonis, which is published in 1593, and another is The Rape of the Lucrece. And both the narrative poems are dedicated to Henry Wriothesley, that is Earl of Southampton. This is very, very important questions. That whom did that two narrative poem dedicated? That is Henry Wriothesley, the Earl of Southampton. And the story of Venus and Adonis has been taken from Ovid's Metamorphosis. And the story of Rape of the Lucrece generally derived from Ovid's Fausti, Levy's History of Rome. And perhaps it is believed that the Legend of Good Woman from Chaucer. And he wrote 154 sonnets, that we all know that. But the important thing is here that how many sonnets have been dedicated to a dark lady and how many sonnets have been dedicated to the young man of that is French of William Shakespeare, Mr. W.H. So here 28 sonnets, that is 127 to 152, describes the dark lady, and 1 to 126 sonnets addressed to the young man, that is Mr. W.H. Now, this is the introduction of Shakespeare. Now, the rest of the important facts about Shakespeare and his works and the other things which are important and pertinent to the PGT examinations, we will discuss in the next video. So, thank you. So, have a good day.